Well, hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. How's everybody doing today? Live treating you well. What's up Aman? What's up Spicy Toast? And Emma is the third of the stream indeed. What's up Aetherwolf? How's health, Emma? Tell us. Spill the tea. Ugh. That felt nauseating to say. But spill the tea, Lady Turd. Now that, on the other hand, felt nice to say. Up, Cypher, how are you doing? Here we are. And there we go. I need to go and grind. Oh wait, before I go and grind, I need to... I just need to dump some energy quickly. And dump it here. What's up, Jason? How's life treating you? So we are gonna grab the final milestones here with the help of Stars. Why are you growling, Aetherwolf? What do you growl about? Working? Well, working is good. Life's good. How are you and the family doing? Don't really, don't think have too much to complain. Had a very busy day today. It was basically, you know, I just recently got home, so I was out of the house all day. And still need to get up early tomorrow. Don't get any rest. Look at that. Mysterio kicking ass. I have to get that like first aid, you know, certification thingy. So that's, you know, fun. Hey, what's up, Gecko Man? The Truth Comic. Can't open the game today. How so? Why do you not open the game today? I still need to record some videos today. Yeah, I'll probably do a rank. I need to figure out who though. I'll probably do it in 2 separate streams because 813 is coming out at like 8 PM my time. And I have a driving session thingy next morning at like 8 AM. So I'll do like a couple hours initially, do the initial completion, kill the boss, maybe record a video, and then do the rest of it the next day when I get home. Something like that. So the Titania Apple, am I ranking her at Piggy first? I'll do Piggy first, I think. Turns out Photon does decent in his... Oh no, wait, she's a noob. I'm waiting for 8.3. Oh, it is a bit of a wait. It is a bit of a wait still then. What's up, Walmax? Come on. What are we talking about today? I don't know, we can talk about the new champions coming out. Kushala and I forgot the name. Well, you know. The thing, you know. I'm turning it to Joe Biden. When does 8.3 come out? 8.3 comes out on Wednesday. Cheetah? No, it wasn't Cheetah. isn't Cheat a DC character? Oh, she got another mutant? Well, we're gonna see what Kushala is, because Kushala could be a mystic. What's up, Cedra? Because yeah, Kushala could easily be a mystic as well. You know, if Scarlet Witch is a mystic, if Magic is a mystic, if Phoenix is a cosmic. You know, Phoenix is, you know, Jean Grey's basically, you know, a mutant who got some sort of cosmic force. Kushala is a mutant that got some sort of mystic force, right? Okay, so I need to hit in 5 times. And now I just need to take some of these. And I'm perfectly fine. OG one's guaranteed skill, and the other one is probably Mystic because I think she's a Ghost Rider. Yep, that's what I'm saying. And yeah, and the OG champ is gonna be a skill champ. Am I not gonna be an 8.3 stream? Probably. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Could be. Why you ask? Gonna pew 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 this, and then I'm going to pew 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 this. How many points for 6-star random? I don't know, but it can't be many, can it? Why did I get clubbed there? I said good day, sir. Well, what's up, Steve? Well, Mr. Anti-Venom. Fake news, Mandalorian. How is it fake news? I mean, what's up, Steve? No news is not fake news. Yeah, 6-star random, I think, is probably gonna go quite low. It's like an old champion, you know? I haven't been like checking the arena results recently, but I can't see him going high. Especially him being out as a 7-star as well. Up Lawrence. Other news, I got my 3rd tech tier 6 CC, 1 more and sure he's going to. Well, congratulations. When I was opening my tier 6 CC stuff, I wasn't getting a lot of sciencey stuff, so that kind of pissed me off. Oh, right. He doesn't like to be slowed. You know, it's fine. What do you guys think? What is going to be the cutoff for the Venom? For the Venom? An arena seems so outdated now. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Arena seems so outdated now. Boom! And then we have to choose the tier 6 CC fragments first before opening the crystals. Oh yeah, that's always annoying too. That is always quite annoying. Oh, but on the bright side, we only have like 2 days till BG store resets, and we have some stuff now. And we have some stuff. There we go. The class has quietly been growing stronger. Yeah, for sure. Mutant class is like so far behind everything else now. Like, there has nothing good happened with mutant class this year. Like, Danny Musa realistically isn't like, you know, some sort of big, you know, addition to mutant.
Take my money.
Hey Steve, one nation to it.
R5 Agent Scorpion Parker Cra $5. More donation towards now I guess a future how to video on OG Captain Marvel in 4 years when she's updated.
God, you're making me feel bad now. Okay, anti-venom. Okay, fine. Anti-venom. Fine. Auto fight in arena? That would be a lazy person's dream. That would be quite awesome. What's up, ZeroFrost? How are you doing? Dragon Man so underrated, get the Trovan Recognize. I'm more likely to do Mangok though. And I still need to do Absman and Tigra. Like, okay, Dragon Man might be underrated, but you know, I feel bad with my tiny Absman and tiny Tigra. And I'm also not like super confident or comfortable with not ranking up my Mangok. You looking fresh? Why, thank you. So, Callum, okay. I agree, Dragon Man's kind of cool. Yes. But, you know, Tigra, Absman, Mangog, I think are still, you know, more. Don't you agree? There's so many mystics that one needs to rank up these days. Quite ridiculous. You know, you have a rank 5, I mean, like, I have rank 2 Sasquatch, rank 2 range, sorry, rank 5 Rangera, like, all that stuff, but there's always more mystics, like, I have the Doom at rank 5, who else? Oh, I have Juggernaut. Watch an anti-venom video on DWs now then. Feeling that better? No biggie, but in 4 years, OG Marvel you should be fire. I mean, it will be. It will be. Finish the Karina 7% challenge, get Sansa Hawkeye, and instantly remember your opening with the motorcycle incident. I mean, getting a Hawkeye for the first time would not have solicited such a reaction from me. Yeah, exactly. It's not just Nimrod, that's the thing. Because, you know, it's like, I think the biggest difference and the way I can explain it is, yeah, like, you know, we have a ton of Mystic champions that also get destroyed by a ton of Science champions, right? But the difference is that the big chunky Mystics still take time. Like, there's, you know, in like a fairly generic situations, like you're gonna throw down the rank 2 Sasquatch, you know, he's still gonna take his 50-60 seconds, even if you have like the perfect counter. And, you know, Rinters still take that like 45, 50, 60 seconds, even with good counters. And when a tech champion gets his hands on like a decent mutant that could be a very good defender, you know, against the skill champion, against the science champion, something like that. But when a tech champion gets their paws on those mutants, they go down in like 25 seconds. Like, with how many champions? With Nimrod, you just got level 2 done. And it's not necessarily an MD thing either, because, you know, many of the new science champions completely shut it off, reverse it, or just never trigger it, you know? It's more like, even like skill champions, you know? You have stuff like Korg and things like that, and, you know, when you have the best counters to Korg, it still takes a while to bring down that Korg. And so on and so forth. When you have a good science defender, you know, yeah, okay, in most cases, like Thing, for instance, yeah, there are some champions that will take them down very, very fast, but with mutants, it's by far the most accentuated, where if you have a counter to a mutant champion, that mutant typically is going to go down in like 30 seconds. Under, you know? And I feel like that's the big problem. It's not that, you know, Nimrod counters them and stuff like that. It's like, you know, cool. We have other champions that, you know, counter pretty much the entire class. for most of it. But it's just that when they get countered, when mutants get countered hard. Like, no questions asked. And yeah, and most mutants can be countered by a lot of champions. What's up, MCOC gamer? Look at that. I kind of missed using Nova in this last meta. And again, it's not necessarily entirely true that mutants as a whole are lacking defensively. Again, I think it's more that they just get countered the hardest because typically those tech abilities like supercharge them against mutants specifically. And you know, it kind of makes sense in an RPG game, stuff like that. It's just that I feel like, you know, it's like Nimrod in a generic matchup. He's perfectly balanced, and against mutants he's insane, right? Like, Nimrod's a decent champion in a casual matchup, but against mutants he's insane. And other classes doesn't have that. For instance, I don't know, take a Mr. Negative. You can bring him in Science Champion. Yeah, he's gonna have slightly more damage because he has class advantage, but his damage isn't gonna go through the roof because he's fighting Mystic Champion. His abilities are going to counter them. Well, the same thing with Silk, you know. Silk is not going to hit any harder against, you know, Dr. Doom or Sasquatch or Rintra than she will against, you know, something random relatively that she's fighting against. And I think that's why mutants are so weak. Because yeah, every class gets countered by the class field champions and that's fine, but with tech class specifically, they have designed it in a way where they get like mega supercharged. More so than, you know, most or all other classes. I also think mutants kind of suffer from the blade effect. They used to be the strongest. I mean, yeah, that's true. That's undeniable that Kabam hasn't been helpful, so to speak. Like, that much is undeniable. Because take a look at, like, when did Danny Moonstar come out? And then it was like over a year since Kitty Pryde, or who else was before that. It's like, mutants have been just, you know, abandoned by Kabam. There's no better way to put it. It's like every other class is getting, you know, Titania and Juggernaut buff and stuff like that, and mutants with like Cap Britain and Sauron. It's like, you know, tech class. We get like Shuri gets buffed, we get like Wu Vision, Shocker, we get Future Ant-Man, you know. At worst, those champions are decent. The mutant class gets less than that, and they get like fucking Captain Britain and Sauron and shit. Like, yeah, the best mutant I think since Kitty Pryde is like Toad. And Toad's decent, but he's not like, you know, Future Ant-Man level champion or Kate Bishop champion. What's up, the Kingpin? And also, I mean, I kind of get why they needed to destroy Bishop. Because Bishop was just like mocking half the tech class. Because they made tech class like shock reliant and stuff like that. Bishop was quite literally mocking half of the tech class, so I can agree with that champ being taken down a bit. But yeah, Mr. Kingpin. How's Washington? But yeah, mutants are definitely, you know, fallen from grace. It's kind of like Mutant was the favorite child of Kabam, and then they like married the wrong girl that parents don't approve of, and all of a sudden Kabam exists Kaban pretends that mutant class never existed. Or even worse, they keep releasing text that absolutely shit on them. I think that's an apt comparison. I don't at me. I think that's fairly decent, accurate assessment here. You get like 2-3 more good mutant defenders, I think you should allow for mutant rise. At this point, they shouldn't be a dual purpose champion as well, because in most metas, like, mutants are not required offensively either. Like, this last meta was all around prowess and stuff, and I was like running 2 mutants maybe, or 1 mutant at a time. You know what I mean? Mutants, for most part, in a lot of game modes at this point are like unnecessary. It's like, yeah, you can do stuff with them, but you don't really have to. Like, you really need to have like science champions, really need to have like mystic champions. You don't really have to have mutant champions for much. Mutant glass equals Brian Grant, I'm so sorry. Oof. That's cold. We just purposely seem to avoid making mutants. Yep. That indeed. I mean, they genuinely do seem to be avoiding mutants slightly. And as I said, like, I think Kushala is not going. And then, so these are November champions, and in December we typically get like 1 recently. So, I don't, yeah. Wait, weren't we supposed to have like 2 mutant months this year? Well, I guess not, but... When you're upset with your lines or BG and AW for doing stupid mistakes or deaths, how do you handle? Do you keep quiet? Do you say something in compared to how? I often do say something, but I also remember that I myself make mistakes, so I really kind of, you know, tend to evaluate stuff as well. In general, when I feel frustrated with my alliance, I just went to White Mommy. Because White Mommy is like my officer, and he's also like a really good friend. White Mommy is the reason I'm in New Nation, and, you know, we can speak openly. So, for most part, in vast majority of the cases, I just talked to White Mommy, and I went it out at him, because I know when I talk to him, he also, you know, discusses often some of those things at an officer chat, and then officers can say something instead of me just shitting on other players and stuff like that. And sometimes I do end up, you know, typing something in the chat as well. But yeah, for the most part, I just went at White Mommy. White Mommy wins at me as well, don't get me wrong. When White Mommy also, you know, gets fed up, and I'm like, when I was pulling his leg with it and stuff like that. But yeah, for the most part, you know, I just have very, very good, like, and again, this is not to dislike any of my alliance mates. I don't really talk with a lot of them. Some of them, you know, in chats and stuff, and I have, like, when we need to exchange some advice and things like that. But, you know, I think it's the same for most people when, you know, you primarily talk with your BG, not much with people from other BGs, and also, even in your BG, you have, like, you know, your 3-4 people that you talk with most. And, like, for me, it's like, I mainly speak with White Mommy about everything that's to do with alliance shit. I mean, also, like, off alliance shit. It's like, for instance, you know, I don't know, yesterday's announcement, we both were laughing our asses off, or just, like, making jokes and memes and shit like that about the new Kabam champion. Because, you know, a lot of that stuff you don't really want to kind of, like, yell at, because, you know, now even Lion can get you banned if you say an off-color joke or some shit like that. I can tell one, though. I can tell one, though. Sorry, this kicked on. I mean, some of you might get offended, so here is a fair warning. Some of you might get offended. I don't like how the game is designed around alliance, but primarily the best of us. There's too much interaction now to avoid. Yeah, I kind of suppose. But I mean, there are plenty of alliances, but people barely talk. But, okay, so what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna start with a meme that White Mommy made afterwards. Like, once we started joking about. So it's like, who of you recognize this person? Does anybody recognize this person? I don't think necessarily skill is at the bottom. Maybe. Yeah, White Mommy is a great artist for sure. He does most of my thumbnails. But does anybody recognize this thing? If not, then good. Yeah, you really have to tread carefully now, no matter your intentions. Literally saw someone call you racist in your comments yesterday. Yeah, exactly. And to be fair, though, when somebody calls me a name these days, I literally don't care. 5 years ago, I would be like, oh no, and I would like really kind of like going at it. But these days, you know, math is racist to some people, so just don't give a shit. Like, they have worn down and watered down all of those insults to a degree where I'm like, you know, if somebody hasn't called you a racist in the last 2 years, something's wrong with you. Anyways, who remembers that picture? Stuff Spicy does. Confused about new BG meta will benefit Mystics the most. I will be making a guide, don't worry. I will unconfuse you. I do, but I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Okay. So that picture came out of the... We were just chatting with White Mommy, and somewhere, might have been me, might have been somebody else, we are not going to identify the source of that text. But the message is, watch next Kabam original be Ukrainian climate activist, liberal sexual minority or some sort. I mean, that's where we're going. Like, they literally made, like, you know, Native American two-spirits, like, as many checkboxes as they can cram in there. And yeah, so next Kabam original is probably going to be Ukrainian climate activist, liberal, some sort of minority of sexual nature. That's where we're headed. It's like, you know, 5 years ago we could have had guillotine, which is, you know, kind of interesting historic spin on like French characters or whatever not, and then we could have Aegon, which is like, that's the thing that bothers me most. Two things about this entire thing that really kind of gets to me most. I really am not the type of person that dislikes any group of people. What I dislike is corporations doing all this crap all the time, and more specifically all this shit being pushed into escapism fantasies in like games, movies, stuff like that. I watch, you know, Marvel superheroes because I don't want to see myself. I want to see something different, better, stronger, faster, more powerful, you know, not something that I can just like, oh, that's me, or whatever else. And it has had never any kind of like, at least to me, had any impact, you know. I never expected to see a Latvian something doing in Hollywood. Went from Aegon to top 10 agendas mixed together, pretty much. Most creators in this kind. And here's the thing, I can get that people feel differently, but I also don't get why is it so forced. Not everything is American, not everything is Canada, not all people are the same. And that is also so annoying. All of it, like, for instance, you know, I'm from Latvia, or most people, like, in most places in Europe and stuff like that, it's like, there's like no connection necessarily to current political situation, social political situation in America. And I think that's a very, very, very big part of the reason why Marvel's failing right now. Is because they are bringing real issues in escapism. And it's not fun. Like, if I'm stressed about something, I don't want to see that in my video game. I want to see an imaginary crap that I could not think of and that seems wild and exciting and different and whatnot, you know. I don't want to see, you know, political opinions that I do or do not agree with. And all that stuff. Escapism, fantasy, come on, just make it fun again. And Marvel isn't fun anymore. Like MCU specifically, it's not fun, I mean. It's stupid. It's gotten significantly less clever in terms of writing or enjoyable. But it's also, but you know, stupid things can still be fun. Not. Really understand the uproar about getting some. It's not necessarily the uproar, it's also like the presentation stuff. Like, do you think about like themselves as a corporation deeply are invested in that? Like, I don't. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's like, Capcom is a gaming company that makes a Marvel video game. Right now, they literally, you know, went to Native American grandmas and asked for advice how to make a, you know, a character, when they probably had to spend an hour and a half to explain what MCOC is to them. And also, like, the fact that it's oversaturated now everywhere with everything. And because it, at least according to many people, let's say like that, making things less fun or enjoyable, it's being perceived much more negative than it otherwise would. It's kind of like, you know, when this reveal was done, it was, you know, immediately kind of like an eye roll moment, and the reaction was like, but of course they fucking did. It's, again, like the least surprising champion reveal in essence. Like, they were like 3 centimeters away from, you know, that black lesbian meme. End of the day, the character looks cool. I dig the avatar. I actually don't think the character looks cool. That's the thing. I genuinely also don't think the character looks cool. I like, you know, I just don't. I just can't help it. I don't think the character looks cool. It's, you know, kind of like the same thing. Like, at the moment, I'm looking at, you know, some cars that I'm dreaming about. Not necessarily dreaming about, that I could realistically try and save up. You know, I just don't like the way Volkswagen Golf looks like, for instance. So I'm never gonna get it. I just don't like it. Can't explain it. Don't like it. And I'm sure that's somehow ist or something. Get ready for a special announcement on Friday? What's going to be a special announcement on Friday? Oh, that, yeah. Spam does destroy Bishop, yes. Spam absolutely destroys Bishop. Character boxers, can't remember when it was last time. And that's a fair point. I don't really care about that stuff either when I actually use the champions, you know. I have made endless amounts of fun for Overseer, for instance. But I really don't, you know. Overseer is still a solid champion. Didn't change my opinion about, you know, him in the context of MCOC at all. Guardian for a tumor? I don't... Guardian... a tumor's damage is physical, right? I don't think he's particularly great. Could be wrong, but I don't think he's amazing. Oh, what is she? The new champion is skill. Talking about MCOC Nightfall? I don't even know. Well, primarily we're talking about how you know, not necessarily being a fan of that champion automatically somehow makes me an ist. And again, it's not even about like, it doesn't matter. It's just so kind of saddening at this point. I'm not like I'm not like worried, or I'm not like freaking out when somebody calls me names these days anymore, because you know it's been years. And there's always somebody like fussing over something sometimes. But I don't know, it just, again, it just doesn't feel fun. I mean, this is supposed to be escapist fantasy. Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's much more about the fact that it's like Kabam is, as we all know, is primarily an extremely money-hungry company. Do you think they give a shit about any of that? No, if they did, they would be like, you know, donating all the revenue, billions and millions. Like Marvel Concert of Champions has grossed like over $1 billion. How much of that $1 billion they have actually, you know, given to all of these, you know, incentives and genuinely help people? No, it's just like pandering for all this crap. And the worst thing is, it's unnecessary as well, in the sense that you don't need to see yourself in entertainment to identify or get excited for it. I never did. It's like, you know, I was as big of a fan of I don't know, Ripley as I was of Schwarzenegger or whatever else. And especially in Escapist Fantasy, as I said, I don't want to see somebody that's like me, has like my character traits. I want to see somebody better, faster, smarter, more fun, like a hero, because it's escapist fantasy. It's not like bring your home to work movie, or like bring your work to entertainment. Fam, don't know if he's going to be good next BG Meta. I don't think so, not in particular, no. Because it's going to be all about decay and sugar pill, right? And here's the thing as well, I don't think there's anything wrong about not, you know, caring about everything. That's like the same thing as like, you're supporting, I don't know, cancer research charity, but you're not supporting some sort of, you know, Greenpeace or some sort of, you know, ecology charity. It's like, that's fine. You don't need to support everything. You can pick the things that you care about the most and you know, go with that. I think her costume looks amazing. It all boils down if she turns up. Well, of course, yeah. That's like 1,000,000%. You know, she's a good champion. I'm gonna use her. If she's a bad champion, I'm not gonna use her. For me, representation more of like my favorite. I can even see myself in Doom and also Hawk and Draxel. I don't need maybe around and see myself in. Yeah, exactly. That's the point, Calendar. That's exactly the point. You don't watch escapist fantasy to find yourself while you're escaping. You know? And yeah, you're like from Egypt and you were a fan of Batman and saw yourself as a Batman and stuff like that. And, you know, you didn't need an Indian version of a Batman. Pretty sure about Mike. He could be. I don't know. It's like, I'm from Latvia and like we have our own like mythology and old gods and stuff like that. And like at no point I wanted to see like my kind of like national characters in like a superhero game. No. I don't know, why would you? I mean, that argument falls apart and someone else says that they would like to see somebody represented. Somebody would always like something. The point is, whether do you actually need it? To, you know, I would like that or like that, but it's like, is that like, you know, necessary? Is that like the core point? I think that's like there is a difference, and the negative reaction, and just like, for instance, my reaction to it, it's not like I'm trying to not like any specific group of people, and I genuinely have, no impression of Native Americans. I don't think I've ever spoken to one. I wish them no harm. I wish them the best. I do understand that they have tragic history. So has a ton of other people and tribes and stuff like that. Like, a lot of people don't know the modern word of slave literally comes from the word Slav, which is Russians, because Russians, and Vikings and whatnot were taking Russians into slavery like long before it was cool in, Americas and whatnot. And if you look at the history of the world, it's horrible. Literally every single country has had atrocities and problems, and guess what? Everybody was dicks to everyone. But we shouldn't apply our modern day morality to, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. That's one thing. And another thing is that negative reaction comes from because it long since has not felt genuine. It's because everybody's pushing it and everybody's doing it, and it's kind of like the cool thing. And you understand that it's not actually people who care about those things. It's like corporations using it to just like, make people, hopefully attract more people to them and making money with that, rather than it's like, okay, so I don't know, if Kabam's CEO is like Native American, for instance, and he's like, okay, this is my cause, and if he was talking about it for years before, and if he was like focusing specifically on that for years and genuinely convinced people proved that it is his thing, it would be a completely different thing than Kabam just making an event for every new woke, month. How come is it a month these days? Everybody gets a month. It's this month, it's that month. Like, okay, that's a different story. But, Kabam, like, this year is like, how many had be of these, socially aware champion releases, as I'm going to call them. And it's just not genuine. I don't believe it's genuine. I think it's, for money. If there's genuine care, I want to see, like, how much money Kabam has donated and what they have done to improve the Native American living conditions in USA, for instance. Are they? Probably not. And that's the more annoying thing. That's where, the unpleasant reactions come from, because it's not, nobody feels it's genuine. Everybody feels it's like a money-earning theater. Why am I so triggered? I'm not triggered. I don't think I'm triggered. Maybe I'm just hungry. But these things I do find interesting and kind of fascinating, so I do like, talking them out as well. You do need to be super careful to talk about any of this stuff these days. I'm gonna pew pew this, Elsa. I'm gonna pew pew you. Uh-oh. He's pewing me back. Ah. Hey, what's up, Wildcat? Oh yeah. I definitely rolled my eyes very hard yesterday. And the genuine impression was like, yeah, but of course they did. Well, has gone soft, I know. Yep. Absolutely. If they donated and improved, would you change your view? I mean, yeah, I would, but not if they donated like 50 grand or something. It's again, it's not necessarily the fact whether they write a check or don't. It's whether they care for it, as they say that they do all the time. But yeah, absolutely, if they actually were, caring about these issues and helping people and doing like real things aside. You know, it's kind of like celebrities singing Imagine from their mansions during COVID. It's like yeah, cool. But of course. Get the cookie points. I also do think that there is more to it, by the way. I do think that, you know, a lot of it these days is like genuinely like a cult. Like a new faith that's hiding behind the veil of, you know, atheism or something. Because every people believes in something. Kind of like, you know, for instance, this whole environment crap. The plastic straws in UK are given out. Sorry, the paper straws. It's like the biggest bullshit ever, for instance. And because they are handing out those paper straws into plastic fucking cups in UK. How much plastic is in a fucking cup and how much plastic is in a straw? And what's wrong with atheism? I don't think there's anything wrong with it. As in, like, for a while, I genuinely consider myself an atheist, and I have no issue with atheism as such. However, I do have a counterpoint that all of this modern wokeism is a lot like a religion, and people are in denial about it because they are saying like we're atheists and stuff like that. I mean, there are legitimate, genuine atheists. And I'm not saying that it is, you know, by every definition of religion. I'm saying there's a lot of similarities of this modern woke stuff to religions. First, I got a Black History Month, some also missed it. Okay. The Western again here, the Western world. You have to be more specific, by the way, because first of all, LGBTQ month was not a thing 10 years ago. It was like a day, then it was a week, then it's a month, and it's not even as big of a thing. For instance, in Latvia, like in Latvia, I went to high school when I first ever heard about Black History Month. It's just that we don't care about it really here. We don't really have black people. We haven't had much interaction in this country with black people. We have our own tragic, you know, history that's not too dissimilar from what other people who got conquered and sold and whatnot went through. So yeah, I think the first time I ever heard about Black History Month was at some point in high school, and they didn't like teach it. Like, I think that the teacher may mentioned it. It might have been mentioned in like one lesson or something like that. But as far as I remember, it wasn't even a full lesson about it. It was just like an acknowledgement of it. And it's just not something like, in Latvia, nobody gives a shit. It's not our thing. And Latvia, you know, no matter how you like to know it, is still a part of a Western world. This is, you know, not every place in America or Canada. Not every place has the same history. And as I said, Latvia has very, very fucking horrible history. If you actually, like, read through it, you know, you would be surprised that I'm not crying for reparations from every neighboring country. Because we were conquered by every fucking country around us that wasn't lazy to do so. And pillaged and raped and sold and enslaved. At some points we could own property, at some points we couldn't, and so on and so forth. And that's the entire world. Like, that's literally the entire world. The world was a lot more mean of a place than it is right now. And it's high time people kind of like acknowledge that. You cannot apply morality of today to actions of hundreds of years ago. And Okabam is a Canadian company, so they would represent their views with accordance. Yeah, again, that's fine. But not everybody has to like it. The same shit is like, you know, Marvel is American-based company and they're gonna make their movies however the fuck they want. I don't need to go and pay it and support and be happy about it. You're absolutely right. They can do whatever the fuck they want. For all I care, they can, you know, start releasing completely morally depraved things any normal human being would object to. They can do that. You don't have to be happy about it though. Or you don't have to support it. It's like, how do you think why Marvel movies are making less and less money? Of course they can do that. Absolutely right. Nobody's, and like, I don't have a power to stop them or forbid them. Nor I think I should. Good example is response to genocide. That's not modern humans. Okay, you know, we cannot. It's like, okay, let me put it like this. It's very easy to have some sort of moral posturing. I can guarantee you that vast majority of the people in this chat right now, should they have lived in the Germany at that time, and you were given an order to do something, and you were in fear for your own life and your family's life, stuff like that, and you would just ask how many of them, how fast, and where to go. Everybody likes to imagine themselves as like a main hero or something. And again, obviously, despicable things are despicable that they happened. But it is easy to grandstand and have some sort of moral posture without actually having lived at those times. If you're going to talk about, you know, the damage that's caused this and that culture, you need to put yourself in the shoes of the people who actually carried out those, and not just like a single person who made a decision. Because that was life back then. No? I can promise you, if you lived like, you know, hundreds of years ago and those were society's norms, and, you know, somebody with higher degree of power forced you to do something, you'd do it. And you wouldn't lose your night's sleep about it because everybody else is doing it and whatnot. Very few people would. Everybody likes to think that you would be that guy. And that's good. That means that, you know, we're educated better, we have, you know, more knowledge about these things, more compassion or whatnot. And that in itself is like, you know, proof of some sort of development and improvement. How you experienced discrimination and whatnot. It's like, well, as an immigrant, I experienced quite a lot of discrimination in UK, especially when I arrived and I didn't speak the language well, but no, I'm not going to say to the same degree. However, I can promise you that my life would be vastly different had my parents' property was not effectively, and grandparents' property was not effectively confiscated by the government. I wouldn't be renting an apartment right now. My grandparent built, like, grandparents in total, I think they built like 4 homes or 3 homes that they all lost. I lost relatives in that war. That also did not improve our family's situation. And going back to generations, virtually since about 1000 years post-Christ, since, you know, the Crusades from the church, there was always somebody ruling Latvian territory, which obviously prevented Latvia from being as well off, wealthy, or just, you know, decently situated in the world as we could have been. Yeah, no, so that's a lot of it. That's a millennia of it. That's 1,000 years of it. Have you ever walked around watching people who looked like you? Have you? Have you walked around and saw lynchings? I mean, maybe the situation in America is worse than I thought, but yeah. It's like, yeah, there are a lot of mass graves in Latvia. It didn't happen in my lifetime. It's like, okay, if I was older, like, yes, in my childhood, it's like, then how old you are? Because, you know, to my grandparents, like, they got deported, stuff like that. I'm not as old. Like, if I was older, I probably would have seen, you know, some of those things. I definitely would have seen, like, you know, KGB just disappearing people. If I was older. But, again, my grandparents did, and they never, you know, they wouldn't even think of kind of like, oh no, now Russians need to pay me or I need special privileges about it. They were just happy that, you know, we got our country back. Again, every place is different. We all have our own story, and I'm by no means not trying to compare or diminish your story by acknowledging the fact that I have mine. And here is, you know, like what I think is like, you should focus on you, your family, live on, and, you know, think about the things that you care about the most. Like, honestly speaking, you know, and this is like brutal, I don't really care about what happened 1,000 years ago. And I definitely don't care to the same degree about the stuff that's happening in America compared to the stuff that's happening to my family. I don't know about that, Katie. There has always been a lot of tensions in Eastern Europe because of these issues. I mean, like, tensions isn't how. Like, Latvian government isn't knocking on the doors of Russia for reparations or some sort of, you know, financial aid because of Soviet Union times. Nor I would want to anybody living in Russia today to pay me for what their grandparents did to my grandparents. Even if that means that because of their grandparents, you know, my life today is worse because their grandparents, let's say, burned down my grandparents' house. I can go to the people there today and say, like, okay, pay up for what your granddad did. I do, however, think that there's so much pent-up tension and frustration in today's world. Something's definitely not going right. Like, I think, you know, people are just feeling so much more defensive and aggressive. You're an exception? How do you know I'm an exception? Well, I don't think I am. I'm quite sure that virtually everybody in my family thinks so. Or virtually everybody that I've spoken to in my country. How can you say that I'm an exception? It's like, I want, you know, I could believe you if there was a reason to, but just because you say it doesn't make it so. Okay, not Latvia. So there we go. Okay, so maybe I'm not an exception in Latvia. And then maybe, you know, it's the same or a bit different, but not the way you think in this country and that country. Yeah, not every place in America or Canada. Let's talk about Serbians in Kosovo. I mean, like, I'm not particularly great expert at it, but sure. And I'm not saying that every place is the same at all. Which is the entire point. Anyhow. That's what get politics, but alright, let's discuss Morbius failing hard in science math and that. Dude is mid-tier. Yeah, I think, like, realistically, out the top of my head, I could easily name 10 champions that I think are better than Morbius. I don't think he's like an awful champion or anything, don't get me wrong. You know, I'm sure I'm gonna use him at some point. I'm sure that next 6 or so weeks he's gonna be more popular because he's gonna be tactic, you know, attacker and stuff. But I think after about 6 weeks, not too many people will use him. Good Iron Man. Yeah, sometimes in Arena it happens actually quite often with Quake, where opponents AI just freezes. I don't know why exactly, but it happens in arenas with Quake. In every second fight, I would say, when I Quake in Arena, opponent just does nothing. It's some sort of glitch again. By the way, guys, did you play this game for so long? There was this one glitch with Quake at some point in Alliance War as well. I mean, it wasn't just in Alliance War, but there was like this exploit, and there were like 2 teams that knew about it. And they could just Quake any fight. And the entire point was that I think you had to knock them down before like the first stun. Or something like that. I don't remember exactly how you did it, but you could freeze AI at any fight, like super easy. And there were like 2 teams that knew about that thing, and they were using it like secretly in Alliance Wars, and they were just like beating everybody because every fight that you could remotely Quake, they just Quaked. It's kind of funny. Oh yeah. Somebody also did like a damage comparison of like, you know, the 2 level 1, 1 level 2 rotation, and Joe Fix it like even has more damage than Morbius does. Not to mention utility and stuff. So yeah, Joe is definitely better. I would rank up Awakened Joe over Morbius any day too. I'm gonna be ranking up my Unawakened Pig over Morbius. I'm gonna be ranking up Titania over Morbius. And then, you know, maybe eventually at some point. Joe is a beast though? Well, yeah, of course. But, you know, Joe is a beast, and then Hulk is a beast, and then, you know, these. And as I said, out of the top of my head, I could easily go 10 champions that I think are better than Morbius. In Science class, specifically. So again, I don't think Morbius is awful, at all. I do, however, think if you have, like, yeah, Hulk, or Duped Overseer, or Duped Joe Fixit, or Titania, you know, or Pig, you know, rank up those. I was so hyped. Yeah, I was very hyped to rank him up too. I was definitely hyped. And yeah, Titania thing with the Intimidate is annoying me too. That's like the biggest point of hesitance. I'll still probably do it, but I'll definitely do the Pig first. Okay, his utility ranking and petrify when I want. Weakness is always there and useless special one. Alright, quick for him. Alright. Yeah, no. I really do like Joe Fixit as champ. I actually, like, you know, I'm kind of annoyed that I don't even have Joe Fixit, let alone have him duped. Because that's a champion that I drank up immediately. Very happy about my Hulk though. Wait a second, I just want to check something. Okay, I'll keep it quiet. So double. Okay, I'll leave it there, but if this person ever says anything to me again, Goofy, are you still here? My screen disappeared again. My bad. Now it's back. It's all good. Which party did with Bishop? Oh, I still need to make that hood video as well. Right. I just don't like the whole I got switched between you. Yeah, that is, you know, I agree. Like, it is kind of annoying, but it's not as bad as like Jubilee or Psychoman or even like Mysterio or something. Welcome, Nick Rank 5. Upcoming meta, I think I do Nick. Most likely. I'm not sure though. I'm not. Will Valkyrie work in next meta? That region, oh yeah, especially if you have some sort of damage multipliers, that region will be so clutch. You know, recoil makes that region quite OP, or if you have like some, you know, beauties and stuff like that. Seeing less Valkyries these days because meta and yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'd probably do Nick first. Valkyrie is still an amazing champion, and you never know when the meta is gonna turn back in her favor. It's just one of those things that there are some champions that, you know, haven't quite worked in the past metas, you know? For instance, last several metas haven't been kind to Scorpion. You know, Scorpion wasn't great in Crit Me With Your Best Shot meta, Scorpion wasn't great in these prowess metas, you know, and stuff like that. Or at the very least in the second of the prowess meta, so... Kind of seems like, for instance, you know, Scorpion has maybe taken a bit of seat back. He hasn't really, it's just that, you know, he had a couple of bad metas in a row. Bionic Reaper. Then Sun Morbius or Mr. Negative Rank 2, both unduped. I don't know. In that case, I'd personally probably go with Mr. Negative, but you know, again, Morbius rank up kind of makes sense right now for the next 6 or so weeks. Then again, you know, I still think I'd go with Negative. Yeah, I think I'd go with Mr. Negative. Well, wait, is Mr. Negative a tactic attacker? Because if he is, that's gonna be like super helpful to him. Will you push for top place because of new titles? Yeah, I'll probably give it a better go. It kind of depends, you know, on real life things and developments, but I will likely try significantly harder in the next season than I have in last year. As a personal preference, you either play Negs or don't. Yeah, that's absolutely accurate. If you're not like convinced or confident or comfortable with Negative, then don't. Because Negs is a beast of a champion, but he's also, you know, somewhat peculiar. You need to be confident with him. Hey Donk is absolutely right there. you love his playstyle, then go with him. Then do it. I like that negative can do like a thing as well and some other stuff. So, well, is he a decay champ though? That's quite important. Does anybody remember Mr. Negative? Yes or no on decay thing? Wonder if we see some new people in top because of titles. He's not decay. Ooh, that's kind of annoying. In that case, you know, it's still kind of worth thinking about. Again, I suppose it depends how much you care about ballot runs. Oh no, wait, he actually might be even better because he's not decay. Oh yeah, in next meta he should be a monster. Yeah, I think in next meta he's going to be an absolute menace because he's not a tactic champ, right? And he's going to be getting those placebo buffs. And you can just dash back and convert them. And as you do that, if opponent goes unstoppable, it's kind of like whatever, you can just wait it out and parry again. I mean, it could be a bit tricky, but it could be awesome. I don't know. It's something that needs to be tested, I think. DJ Mandam source is always nice. Yeah, it is quite neat. Yeah, the fact that you can throw a special too before you can let opponent throw a single special is super helpful. I always love that ability about him. You don't have to do it, but you can. You know, it might end up taking a bit more block damage, but that's fine. Then again, Mr. Negative now. I suppose that Relic can help him with, you know, the bulwark stuff. I have not heard any update from Slugberg. I actually haven't checked whether he has posted anybody on Twitter. Maybe somebody knows. Do you guys? Anybody heard anything? Look at that! What is that AI? He literally waited out my counterpunch charge. Then block stat will help. Yeah, you can add block stat as well. Although I do think that prowess on him should be really effective stat to add. Don't you think more would be able to take more matchups if those numbers were in crit and red ones like Galen? Yeah, I do. Somebody pointed out in that Morbius video that you also get decent damage from level 3, so that can help in some matchups, like against Nova or something. But, you know, still, he's not going to be great. No counter. It's just something he can do. But yeah, I do think that he would overall be better champion if those were, like, red direct damage numbers. Does prowess affect dot? Yeah. Like, for Mr. Negative, it will affect his dot. Because it gets affected by Furies, it gets affected by prowess, stuff like that. So Ant-Man, I'm not a fan. First of all, I think Ant-Man is just not a great champ. I think he's just too slow. I think he has a lot of cool things. I just don't think he's fast enough for today's game. And the second thing is, he's also a champion that's quite hard to play and much harder to play unawakened. So, yeah, no. Like, I would not be happy pulling Ant-Man. I'll just put it like that. I don't think he's like garbage, something like that. He's definitely not somebody that, you know, I want. Suicide Monsters work next time? I don't know. Probably not. I do think Kabam overdid with that scoring change now. The more I think about it, I think they should have went half the amount that they did. Yeah? I think time should be 12.5k points and health 15, or if time is 10k points, then health should be 12.5k points. I don't think 5k is gonna change is better. I think it's better. As in, like, I think it makes sense. The time is worth slightly less than the health. I just think they took too big of a chunk of it, if that makes sense. I think what they did is the right move, or in the right direction. I think they just did too much of it. And you know, obviously there will be people who do better with this scoring system and people who did better in previous one. And I do agree, you know, not getting hit. That's why I'm saying I think they did the right thing. I just think they did too much of it. I don't think there should be as high of a difference. Or at the very least, I think it would be worth testing it out. Ah, I hate when my Nightcrawler evades on defense. Stop evading, you jerk! Just let me switch your stance. Ah, stupid Nightcrawler. Smurf. Yes, stupid Smurf with a rusty sword. Oh my god, I just offended Smurf people somewhere, probably. Oh. Do. Yep. And how many points? How many units are we at now? Comrade is on 13. Nice, good job, man. Good job. Oh, no, there was no point in throwing that heavy attack. I wish Colossus could get like a small tune-up. As in, like, you know, basically integrate some of his synergy stuff in his base kit and he's good to go. I like the guy so much, but, you know, he's one of those champions due to the way the game's changed towards, you know, Valiants being more important and Alliance War being more important. It's just not the game what the Colossus had. It's kind of similar with, like, Sorcerer Supreme. I think Sorcerer Supreme is, like, a really cool champion. It's just what she does isn't really needed. Push Kabam will step away from synergy. I mean, they have. Kabam has stepped away from synergy. You haven't noticed that virtually all of the new synergies suck. I think it's because Kabam themselves realized that, you know, there's not much point in them anymore. Like, take a look at all of the more recent champions. Like, I don't think any one of them has, like, a meaningful synergy. And it's also because the game is becoming too complex. Obviously, they had the whole, you know, Cult Witch situation, ship, and they had the... And it's like, Agent Venom is like a monster with the Trinity now and stuff like that. And it's not necessarily what they want to be doing, I think. And therefore, you know, yeah, all the new champion synergies are just like shit. they still spend time and work on them and write all that vanilla text. But it's like, oh, these champions activating a special attack get 2% fury per something. And then you can just have like, you know, a very basic synergies that's effectively better, you know, basic crit rate or attack increase synergies, something like that. Just take a look at new synergies. Like vast majority of them are just utterly like useless and so watered down. Come back to the pro start focus, does not work for missing do same damage. Ooh, okay, fair enough, Legend. Thanks for letting me know. Oh no, there's that too. Yep. Okay. I mean, it's just how it is. New champion synergies will suck. Like, okay, let's check out Morbius synergies, just like, you know, for point of reference. Like, all of them are shit. Or at the very least, you know, nothing, you know, significant. But then again, from that, you know, from the other point of view, as I said, I also particularly don't care that all the synergies suck at the moment, because the game has itself naturally moved away from synergies. There are no synergies in Battlegrounds. Nobody's really relying on synergies in Alliance War. Not really relying on synergies in Alliance Quest for the most part. And it's kind of even better if you don't have to, you know? Obviously, yeah, in Alliance Quest, Alliance War, you can bring in the synergy teams, but it's, you know, better for everybody if you don't have to. And, you know, yeah, you can do it in story content, but again, you don't really need to, I think. Well, let's clippity clap 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 this thing up. Okay, one more round here. Okay, wait, Morbius synergy, then one more round. Where are the Morbi boy? So, most recently available champion in the game, 7/. All champions gain 85. That's a pathetic amount of critical rating. I think, wait a minute. Like, aren't like the all old crit synergies like much more powerful? Oh, you know, let's 1 second. Something. Let's take a look. I don't know, Super. Does he have crit synergy? Yeah, here you go. Yeah, that's 155. That's 155 for a 6-star. So even this is like, you know, Command's clearly damping them down. See, 155. That's for a 6-star version. I think 155. The 115 is average for like 4 stars or 5 stars, something like that, and 155 for 6 stars. Anyways, so crit synergy is significantly weaker than normal. So at the start of each fight, inflict a 35% torment passive for 30 seconds. I think, okay, this one's decent. You know, this one can be helpful to like some champions. Nothing particular to these ones though. I don't think a single one of these champions inflict, you know, that significant of a dot damage at the beginning of the fight. So I don't think this is like particularly meaningful synergy. And the fact that you need Punisher to take a lethal blow to activate it, that's a complete gimmick. The whole is like, oh, Punisher needs to, you know, nearly die before he can activate. It means that you're pretty much never going to benefit from this synergy. It's just like a flavor kind of thing, you know? It's more like an Easter egg than a synergy. Well-timed blocks inflict bleed debuff, dealing 1% of attack over 10 seconds. Again, this one's kind of decent. I don't think it's like make or breaking character. You know, definitely, you know, not transformative. I think it's okay. And Blade's damaging debuffs on the opponent, lower ability power rate by 5%, max 50%. And again, I think it's okay, but it's, you know, not powerful. We had Hulk synergy, where if opponent was like stunned, you reverse it by like 200% or 150%. Because realistically with Blade you have like 4. If you run deep wounds, you probably have like 2 or 4. bleeds on, so you're gonna get like 10 or 20%. It's, again, a couple points in Petrify Mastery, or again, it's just not, much. Even at best, 50% is okay, but it's not going to, cancel a game changing. And again, it's like 10% bleed, debuff duration. Like, it's like, again, synergies just aren't it anymore. Bug Scorpion with Thekiryu away synergy for a long time. Oh yeah, absolutely remember that. Hey, what's up, Ankit? How did your run go? Oh man, that's 7-star negative from basic, dude. Congratulations. Yeah, watching Invincible? Not much. I watched some of his videos, but not like many. Because back then I wasn't like really watching YouTube or following too many people. I was aware of him, but I didn't watch it like a lot. I definitely have seen some videos. Oh, come on. Whoopsies. They moved away from powerful synergies as if they're buffing champions every month. Yeah, fair point. I mean, Invincible, is it out now? You mean, is season 2 out? I mean, like, I watched it. I watched season 1. I thought season 2 is coming out at like, God knows what, way when. Season 2 will be in November. Fair enough. There are quite a few things that I need to catch up on. I just don't seem to have enough time. Like, I still haven't watched the second Spider-Verse movie. Miles Morales stuff. Haven't watched Loki yet. I haven't watched... I mean, I'm not going to watch Indiana Jones. I'm not going to watch Ahsoka. There has to be some more. Oh, why did I watch Equalizer, third one? In that one. Huh? Oh, right, that's her. Right. Okay, so we finished this up. Wait, someone in? Oh yeah, no, I would rank up Hulk first for sure. I would definitely rank up Hulk first. And yeah, for Sugar Pill, he can ramp up very fast. I was thinking the same thing. Don't feel... Oh, best of luck, man. Best of luck in your push. Spider-Man Stealth or Hitmonkey? I think Stealth has seen more play recently. Overall, I'd like Hitmonkey more. It's kind of hard to say. It was definitely Hitmonkey before the scoring change, I'd say. Because Hitmonkey, because then more often you could run with recoils. Hitmonkey is better with recoils and stuff like that. It's kind of hard. I value them very, very similarly. Honestly, what do you guys think? Still Spider-Man or Hitmonkey? I think it's still dope. I think I'd still go Hitmonkey, but I don't know. Both of them are like super squishy. Both of them do very similar fights. I have seen more Stealth with Spider-Man recently. For sure. I'm not claiming the fake Steve, by the way. Anyways, I'll leave that there. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream, and I hope, yeah. Now, I'm sure that this stream is gonna get me in hot waters here or there again, but whatever. Right. Anyhow. Huge thank you to Steve for being the juggernaut of the stream. And I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the